Hello, and welcome to 21 Days of Praise. I am Regina Livingston. It is a beautiful, beautiful day again today, and there's so much happening. Business is growing, and I'm so excited about that. There's so many things that, people out there who need help and need what I have to provide, and that's so great. So I'm so excited for all the things that again I'm living on faith for, and so it's so wonderful to see each day and excited for the day and to see what's coming next, because it seems like so much is up in the air and I don't know what's happening, and so that can be exciting and scary all at once. I know some people like to have everything planned out just perfectly, and I kind of tend to be one of those people, but to some degree I like a little bit of variety and not every day exactly the same too, so I have that sense of I want security really well, but I also want I like adventure also, that up and down. I don't know, I can see both sides of situations. I have the ability to look at the good and bad in everything. So in some ways I don't know, I guess I'm not stable in some ways because of that. I can change my opinion. Some opinions I never change, but on things, if I hear a different story and I'm like, well, that could work in that situation, or maybe, or something like that. But overall, a lot of things we hear about are just people's opinions. A lot of the facts that we think are facts are really, really, really just people's opinions. And there are actually very few things, I think, in life that are actually facts, because like I mentioned before, scientists each year are finding, discovering new things. And we aren't always learning about them, though. But they are discovering new things all the time and reevaluating what they find has been supposedly fact and solid and everything else. You look over the centuries and what they thought, it's just amazing how we've come. So that's why when people say, oh, these brilliant minds, you have to believe everything they say. No, because the next brilliant mind that comes along is going to cut off everything that he said and have a new theory, and that seems more relevant and actually works. So, what, and people do different science experiments, and depending on what the scientists want to happen, a lot of times that's what will happen. The next person comes along and they don't believe that that's going to happen, and it never happens, right? So somehow our will affects the outcome of situations. So if we have a strong will and thinking that this is going to work, really to the very core of us, that this plan is going to work and it's going to work out this way, it does, okay? But if you're kind of going along and like, I don't know, and, maybe this could happen or maybe that can happen, and your life becomes, a series of ups and downs and this and that. But if we're solidly looking for a certain thing, and if we want a certain thing in our lives, then we focus on that with pure intensity and knowingness that this is going to work. It does, okay? I've had that when I was sick. Every time, like they said, the lowest time that they said I could be healed in, boy, I was healed in that time, because I made up my mind that is going to happen, and it's going to happen this way. So I just know that I need to do that more on things, because I've had so many times when I've thought, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this in this amount of time. And a lot of times it happens in a couple days instead of the week that I gave it, or, something like that, because I've put all my cards on the table for that to happen. So I just need to make those intentions stronger and look at those things that I want, and that faith that I have. When I put it in those terms, everything that I put on faith works every time. And I think that can happen for anybody. Okay, that's not just me. I guarantee you there's lots of stories out there that are that's, how many millionaires are there today in America? Okay, most of those did not start out as millionaires. They started out just like you and me, if not worse sometimes. So, those stories happen all the time. We live in a great society where you can go from nothing and be somebody. Most most countries do not allow you to do that. You cannot do that. But our country is set up that way. That is capitalism in its finest, okay? And there are certain things about capitalism, everything has its flaws. But that is one of the things that makes this country great, okay? Is that we can go from nothing and become something. And sometimes what seems like overnight. Although if you talk to the people, they have spent years working on their craft and developing their mark in this world. But all of a sudden, that one thing kicks them into high gear. And all those years have paid off of what they've done in the meantime. So, most people who are overnight successes are not overnight successes. They just have been doing something consistently over time and found the break that they needed. Okay? So have you been putting anything into a particular mode of whatever you want, whether it be a hobby or something else, maybe a job change that you would want? How much time have you put into that? Most people think it takes about 10 years to really refine your craft and get the money that you want from a particular avenue of business, whatever that business may be, whether it's writing or, building up clientele in any area, okay? It takes 10 years. So how long have you been working on it? Okay, so let's not get discouraged that it's not happening right now, but that we can live on that faith. And we can know that this is going to happen for us, okay? It's going to happen for me, and I guarantee you it's going to happen for you too, all right? You put all, your emphasis on these things. But don't leave everything out in the meantime either. Don't give up on family. Don't give up on friends. Don't cut yourself in a corner of nothing, you can't do that. But let's focus on what needs to be focused on a majority of the time, okay? And whatever that might be. Maybe you are a stay-at-home mom and your focus is on your family. So there's nothing wrong with that. I did that for 8 years and I loved it. I loved every minute of it, staying home with my kids and being able to play with them and teach them. I did not send them to preschool. I taught them their ABCs and, all sorts of things like that. And they went to church, so they got plenty of interaction with children. They weren't backwards on that at all by any means. So, it's one of those things that, no matter what avenue or area of life that you want to excel in, you can do it. Okay? So let's think about that. Put our faith and our emphasis and everything into that, whatever it is that you want, whatever goal you are looking at, whatever dream you have for your life. All right? Well, you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.